All right, welcome to episode 18 of the PPBDL YouTube channel. This is week 4 of the Thursday inning stretch, so we're going to do something a little unconventional, but here we go. All right, so looking at the top of the screen, we've got the Roto standings currently right now, and this is where everyone stands for tiebreakers if there were any matchups that are tied right now. So if Carter's listening, which he probably isn't, he is having the best week of everyone. He's currently winning all of his matchups, projected to go 3-0. His hitters are just raking right now. He's leading the league in homers, RBI, stolen bases, slugging, and he's tied with the 3 holds as well. His ERA and WHIP are shot, but that's okay because he has 8 starting pitchers left. He's probably just going to try and win wins and Ks and try and get a save here and there just to solidify his 3-0 week. Coming in second is Dodger Blue. So Ryan is having a pretty solid week across the board. His hitters are really coming through, and his pitching staff on the WHIP is kind of just saving him there. He's got 7 starting pitchers left, and I think the top matchup of the week left is an interesting one between Dodger Blue and DP. I think is one of the better matchups to look forward to, even though it's 8-4 currently. They're separated by like 1 homer, 1 RBI, 1 stolen base. The OBP and slugging are essentially tied, and it's 1 win, 1 save, and 1 hold. So that matchup can go either way right now. I'm going to try and keep getting rid of all of these notifications because it's recording on the screen. But Dodger Blue's having an excellent week right now, and he's currently sitting at 2-1, could easily go 3-0. Jared, he's got a bunch of tough matchups this week, but he's projected right now to go 1-2, and the one matchup he is currently winning right now is against myself, and I think it's separated by like 1 hold and 1 stolen base as well. So he's had a couple solid weeks. The last couple weeks, I think he went he went 3-0 one week, and then last week he might have went 1-2, but he's looking pretty good, and you'll see in the standings later. He's sitting at second in Roto for the season right now, so he's going to hold the tiebreaker over most of us for the full season standings. He's got Carter right now, who's sitting at top, myself, and we're only separated by a couple, and then his third matchup's against DP, who's having a really solid week as well. Josh is sitting at 4th, Team Commish. His pitching staff is just carrying him once again. I think myself, Ryan, and him have a text thread, and essentially by Monday evening, we were pretty much out on ERA and WHIP for the week. He only has 1 starting pitcher left, so maybe I can catch him in Ks. I'm not going to catch him with wins because he's leading the league with 5 wins, 61 Ks, and his ERA is once again his pitching staff is just carrying him. 0 saves. An interesting one because 7 teams this week don't have saves currently, and I think 4 or 5 guys don't have holds as well. So just a really wonky week when it comes to the relief pitching side for most teams this week. At the bottom of the standings is essentially the East Valley, and you'll see it when we move over to the current through Thursday and the projected standings. East Valley is just not a strong conference right now. Beast is sitting at the bottom, just can't get anything going with his hitters, and his pitching staff on the relief side is just non-existent. 0 saves, 0 holds. His ERA and WHIP are shot too. Irby, it's a tough week for Irby right now. He's sitting at 0-2-1. He's tied with Hopper for the tie-breaking matchup, and I don't think Hopper wants to win that week's matchup either. So we could say Irby's going to go, projected right now to go 1-2, which will be a big blow as he falls out of the playoff spot just through the projected standings right now. Hopper's he's bottom third in the Roto standings right now. Is just no contributions from his hitting side other than stolen bases, as he has the worst numbers for runs, homers, RBIs, and slugging. 0 wins right now, but his pitching staff is pretty solid. ERA and WHIP is the only thing really keeping him in contention right now. I don't know if he wants to win that week, but he's got 3 starting pitchers left, so not a lot of pitching production left to come for him. But he's sitting at 0-2-1 tie with a tiebreaker with Irby right now. So looking to go 0-3 and creep up the standings for the Tank for Torque tracker. I don't know if anyone knows this, but he had sent out a message to me at least. He's looking for trades before the trade deadline ends. So if anyone wants to get in a trade, Hopper's your man to look for. Do not try and pursue some of his big name studs on the prospect side, because he's trying to keep those guys. But yeah, Hopper's definitely looking for trades. We go to the bottom, pitchers left. Carter, DP, and Specimen have 8 starting pitchers left, which is going to just change some of the standings when it comes to wins and Ks, and maybe see their ERA and WHIP go down a little. But for the most part, most of us, it's kind of standard where we have 8 or 9. 3 or 4 teams have 8 or 9 pitchers to go for the weekend, because some guys made some ads through the last waiver run. And then we see at the bottom, Viral Load and Team Commish have just 1 pitcher left. So I think for the most part, their standings are pretty much set for the week. All right, at the top here, we've got the current standings with Josh and Ryan sitting at the top of the ranking, myself in the East Valley. And then I think right now the current matchups are Irby has the first wild card, Demo has the second, and then we've got Carter and Beast sitting there at the 4 or 5. Through Thursday, oh man, the East Valley, we are just sucking right now. Beast and myself at 1 and 2 are the top teams right now. Hopper probably looking to go 0 and 3, and then Big Mac coming down from his 3 and 0 week. He's sitting at 0 and 3 currently as well. The West Valley, once again, nothing out of the ordinary. Josh is sitting at Team Commission, sitting at 3 and 0. Bad Specimen putting up a pretty solid week with 2 and 1. Dodger Blue is 2 and 1, and then Jared once again is at 1 and 2. But a lot of his matchups are very close, and he could easily go 2 and 1 or 3 and 0. On the downtown side, we've got Carter sitting at 3 and 0, DP sitting at 2 and 1, Viral Load sitting at 2 and 1, and then Irby probably going to 1 and 2. We'll say right now currently. For the projected stats, Josh sitting with the 1 seed, just going undefeated would just really be impressive this year. Ryan 10 and 2, Viral Load, and then myself with a 3rd playoff seed at 7 and 5. Some if the standings hold right now, some shakeups for the wild card seeds. Carter moving into the 4th seed at 7 and 5, and then we're gonna have 4 teams sitting at 5 and 7, with Jared holding the tiebreaker over everyone, as he currently sits 2nd in overall season total roto standings. All right, news and notes. The Mets had 2 people, I think, right now currently reported testing positive. I don't know if those are players or staff members. But the Mets-Yankees series is postponed this weekend, which kind of sucks, because the Yankees are once again getting hosed by a team that came down with COVID. The trade deadline is at the end of this week. I know Josh brought it up in him, Ryan, and Hammy's podcast on Monday, but once again, we're starting to see a couple trades trickle out. I wasn't expecting to see more than 5, but we'll see what happens over the next couple days. Big name call-ups this week. Sixto Sanchez, Joey Bart, and Casey Mize all came up. Mize had a pretty solid debut. I think he struck out 7 over like 4.5 innings. Didn't get the win, but it was against the White Sox, so very impressive to limit the White Sox offense while getting 7 or 8 Ks there as well. The only doubleheader this weekend, we've got the Marlins and the Nationals. Interesting to see what happens with the Marlins, because they were the team that was playing the Mets, so that game was postponed yesterday. And I don't know if that's going to have any residual effects for the rest of the weekend if the Marlins-Nationals series gets postponed because they were in contact with the Mets or not. But as of right now, it's looking like the Marlins-Nats are going to hold a doubleheader tomorrow, and hopefully they play that series. The Tank for Torque tracker, Big Mac moves back into the top spot with an 0-3 week, and then Bad Specimen, Allen sitting at 2-1 right now, drops him. Hammy Hopper moves back up into the 2 spot. So we've got East Valley, strong representation at the bottom, and then Beast is actually sitting at 4 right now. So 3 of the 4 teams in the East Valley are looking at the top of the tank for torque tracker. I put myself in parentheses because I currently hold Beast and Carter's first round draft picks. If any of those change this weekend through a trade, then I'll make sure that we update it. But yeah, currently right now, Big Mac, Hopper, and Bad Specimen are sitting at the top of the tank for torque tracker. We had the waiver wire run. Nothing exciting this week. Austin Barnes to Dodger Blue for $5 was the biggest bid of the week. And, I mean, the Dodgers catcher's situation is just a rotating door right now with injuries. So solid for Ryan to get another Dodger on his team. The only other bids, we had a couple $2 ones from Carter and Josh for Taylor and Borucki. A couple pitchers that I think have SP eligibility and maybe can get some holds. And then we had a couple $1 streamers and flyers in there as well. All right, going over to the matchup spotlight, I'm kind of just focusing in on those 4 and 5 teams, the middle of the pack guys looking for the wild card spots. So right now, Beast and Irby, it's separated by a couple runs, 1 homer, RBI, 4 Ks, and then they're tied at saves. That's going to be a big matchup because, Beast is sitting there contending for the East Valley. If I have another bad week and if I go 0-3 and he goes 2-1, he's tied with me in the East Valley for that playoff spot. Only one team from the East is getting in. So if Beast can win this matchup and I can falter in a couple of mine, he could easily be sitting at the top of the East Valley at the end of this week. A lot of these matchups are going to have Irby in it because his matchups are very close. The next one, he's tied right now with Hopper, and they're separated by 1 or 2 categories and essentially pretty much 7 or 8 of our categories. So that matchup's a coin flip. The DP demo matchup right now is an interesting one because Jared's sitting there trying to if he can win that matchup, he's looking pretty good for the playoffs because he holds that tiebreaker right now. Yeah, if he can go from 1-2 to 2-1 or 3-0 this week, he's pretty much going to lock himself into the playoffs. And then the last, I had one that didn't make it on here, but yeah, Carter and Dodgers matchup right now is a big one because if Carter goes 3-0, he's looking pretty solid for the playoffs because he'll end the week at 7-5. Almost with a 2-game lead over everyone else for the first wild card seed. And then if Dodger Blue can get this win, he goes 3-0. He's right back up there in contention. I know he's sitting at 3-6 going into this week, but he could easily be 6-6 by the end of this weekend. I'd hit on it again, but the Dodger Blue DP matchup, it's separated by 1 home run, 1 RBI, 1 stolen base, .004 OBP, .006 slug, 1 win, 1 save, and 1 hold. That matchup it's 8-4 in favor of Dodger Blue right now, but that could easily be a DP win at the end of the week. For the studs of the week right now, this one's going to hurt. Tim Anderson, a former team member of Eddie Moneyball, is just raking right now with 4 home runs this week, and I think 2 or 3 of them were leadoff homers, and he had multiple home run game as well. 8 runs, 7 RBIs, 2 stolen bases, 526 OBP, and then his slug is out of control. Moving down to the next one, Dodger Blue with Luke Voigt, another former team member of Eddie Moneyball. Is just raking right now with 5 homers for the week and a 1.571 slug. Fernando Tatis Jr. This one hurts on multiple levels just because I'm playing against him this week and he's just raking nonstop with the Slam Diego Padres. He's only got 3 homers, but I think just the overall season numbers for Tatis just feels like he's hitting a home run every single week, every day in a matchup. Kershaw for Beast. Derek, he had a great outing against Seattle. I know it got posted yesterday that he was dealing. He had 11 Ks, only gave up 1 run in 7 innings, and got the win. And then the other one is Maeda with Carter. Their bullpen blew it for him at the end there, but once again we see the Brewers just getting getting blanked for most of the game. Maeda went 8 innings, 12 Ks, gave up the run and had a .37 whip. Going down to the He's Got an Ugly Girlfriend, which is a Moneyball movie reference. The only pitcher that really tanked an ERA and whip this week was with DP Frankie Montas. He gave him 9 earned runs in an inning and 2/3, 1 2/3 innings this week, and pretty much tanked DP's ERA and whip for the week. For the hitters, I was just going to go Coors because Arenado's not having a very solid week, and Trevor Story's having a pretty rough week as well. But we'll go with Viral Load Ryan. His combination between Story and JD Martinez this week, just 4 for 28 with, 5 runs is okay, but the home runs, RBIs, and the OBP is what you need those guys for, and they're not having a very solid week, especially with a couple of those games coming at Coors. I know there was a trade, but I'm not going to talk about trades. But yeah, JD Martinez is no longer on Viral Load. Josh with Javi Baez, looking like a stud MVP candidate last year, is just having a pretty rough week, rough season so far. Just 2 for 16 with a couple runs, and then no homers, RBIs, stolen bases. Just not a lot of contribution coming from Javi Baez right now for Team Commish. And the next one kind of stings as well. So Hopper, Hammy, Dylan Carlson gets the call up, and he's just not seeing a lot of production right now. 2 for 21, a couple runs and a stolen base, but other than that, his OBP and slugging has been pretty brutal. I know he's he's a rookie, and I'm glad the Cardinals did call him up, but not to the start to the career that you're looking for from Dylan Carlson, who I think is going to just be a perennial 2020 guy. And then we'll throw a special one in there. Jose Altuve just looking completely lost at the plate right now, swinging on stuff that's like 2 feet out of the strike zone. He's just 4 for 18, 2 runs, 2 RBIs, and not a lot of production coming from Altuve right now. The last one, just our standard update on what's going on with Gary Sanchez. After my Gary Sanchez line of the week last week, he's been raking. I think he's had 3 or 4 homers. He's doubled his runs, RBIs, and he's added like 100% to his slugging as well. So gave him the kiss of blessing, I guess, since Ryan gives the kiss of death to teams. But yeah, Gary Sanchez he's looking a little better right now. So hopefully he can continue to get right on track, at least in the power department. The Eddie Calvin LaLoosh line of the week. Not a lot of interesting stat lines yet, mainly because Robbie Ray hasn't pitched. But Kevin Gossman had gets the Eddie Calvin LaLoosh Trophy of the week so far with a 5 1/3 innings pitch. He gave up 9 hits, only walked 1, but was looking for a guy that gave up a bunch of hits. So pretty impressive to only give up 4 earned runs after giving up 9 hits, and he got the win against the Angels. While striking out 8, so still still giving Beast a couple solid categories with the win in the Ks. And the only other interesting stat line that I saw was Chris Bubik for myself. Went 4 innings, gave up 4 hits with 4 earned runs and 4 Ks at the Twins. So not a lot of production, but just an interesting 4x4x4x4 stat line. And then hopefully tonight we see what Robbie Ray does in his matchup. I wish he would have been able to pitch on Thursday just to get his line in here. But I'm going to roll the dice and see what happens with him. And I think he's where is he? He's at San Francisco. So I'm sure he won't give up a lot of runs, but it'll be full bases for the most part. All right, so that's all I really got for this week. Once again, I apologize. The computer took a shit and is not charging right now. So once again, just a shout out to Hammy. He's looking to make some trades, but if you're going to go after Gore in any of his prospects, it's going to take a lot. So good luck. Hopefully we see some more trades throughout the next couple days.